This last bit on monopolistic competitors, we're looking at the idea of product differentiation. So, for product differentiation, it's the attempt of firms to try to convince buyers that their products are unique and better than the other guys. So, for monopolistic competitors, this is how they get that pricing power. This is how they get sort of like a mini monopoly over their own product. For an oligopoly, this is a non price competition. It's a way to try to steal market share from the other guy by uh, by advertising, if you will. Monopolistic competitors, though, it's a way to actually be able to have a higher price, and it's a way to get higher profits for them uh, a little bit more permanently, as opposed to the game theory of oligopoly. So it's much more important to monopolistic competitors. So now we're going to get into just how they do this. What are the ways that uh, in which they try to differentiate their products? Well, first of all, they try to differentiate by style or type. So they try to make it fit consumers' tastes. And I think this makes sense. They try to make it more trendy. They try to make it go with what's happening at the moment. They might change up their branding a little bit to try to make it more current. Or if they're trying to go with the idea that they are a classic, they might go to a retro look. It's all about just trying to make sure that their products fit what consumers want at the moment. Differentiation by location. This one's a little bit more difficult to understand, but it's about the convenience factor of location. This is particularly big in service industries. So the idea is if it's right there on your way to work or on your way home or something like that, you're going to be more likely to shop at that store or that business. One of the best examples of this is if you're driving down a busy road that is sort of going one way. It's busy in one way because of the flow of traffic um, uh, for work. So if you have like a main artery going to the city, businesses that have gas stations on both sides of the street, you might see that gas stations right across the street from each other. One will have a higher price than the other. You might think, well, how can that work? Wouldn't everybody just go to the cheaper one? Well, the answer is no, because of convenience. If more people are going to be on one side of the street and find it difficult to make a left to the other side, then they're going to be more likely to pay that extra penny or two per gallon. They're not going to think about it if it's not that much of a difference in price. And it happens all the time. Next time you see this type of thing, take a look. Is there a median in the middle? Is it a difficult turn? All of these things make it so that um, the location of certain businesses can have higher prices. Uh, Also, if they're located in a spot with other businesses, so maybe the grocery store is in the same parking lot as the gas station, well, then they might be able to charge a higher price. Maybe the Dunkin' Donuts is there, they can charge a higher price. If the gas station is off by itself and it's difficult to get to, they're going to have to charge a lower price to try to draw people in. You can also see this if you think about your general convenience stores. You go into a Wawa uh, and you try to grocery shop there, you're going to be paying higher prices than you would if you went into a grocery store. That's because, and this is just usually not on everything, and that's because of the convenience factor. It's called a convenience store for a reason. You're not really supposed to be doing your grocery shopping there, and you will likely pay a higher price for it. Differentiation by quality. This one I think makes the most sense. The idea that you have a higher quality type of uh, food or type of business, you can charge a higher price. Now, this can be perceived or real. It doesn't have to be actually better. People just have to think that it's better. So if you give off that aura of being a higher quality place, then you can charge a higher price typically. So it doesn't have to be real, but in many cases it is. Now, is this efficient? Does it make sense? Why do we do this? Well, it does because, at least in some cases, it does because A variety of advertising can give people useful information. It can be beneficial to consumers to actually understand a little bit about the product. However, it can also be pretty inefficient at times. I think we've all seen commercials and advertising that is misleading uh, or just wasteful and useless. I think if I can think of a lot of different advertisements that I've seen over the years where I can remember the ad completely in detail. But if you asked me what the ad was for, I couldn't tell you. So the idea of product differentiation being wasteful has to do with just it's not accomplishing its goal. It's not drawing people to your product. And of course, the idea of it being misleading, well, that is obviously inefficient in terms of um, consumer knowledge. But once again, that happens all of the time. Uh, Lots of products try to make health claims, and then you might see like a star next to it, and underneath the star it says this hasn't really been vetted by anybody, or this was a clinical trial that we did. It's all very subjective. So uh, that's the idea of inefficiencies within product differentiation. And that's it for market structures. That is all you have to know about them.